All these people are joining me in the fight for women's rights. I'm gonna do a TikTok. So I'm wondering, you know, how you felt when you heard the news.
I felt terrible. Like immediately, I felt horrible and very angry, which is unusual. So I just kept looking at the news and more information on it, and feeling worse and worse. And I posted about it on a social media thing, and I got a bunch of people who were like, "Yay, finally! Now we can stop murdering babies." And I was like, "Oh God, I have to do something."
So what brought you here?
I saw an advertisement that you did on Facebook. Someone posted it on that app, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, that's in like 3 hours. I have to go there."
Well, I appreciate you coming.
He told me about this on Facebook, so he was like, "You want to be with me?" And I said, "Yes," because obviously I need to be in this. And I was just so concerned for people that I know that live out of state. And I know someone in Texas, her life just became vastly more complicated by the fact that she doesn't have safe medical care. I'm so worried about her. I know what she's going through.
Yeah, safe medical care is important.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you willing to have a short interview?
I am. I'm just doing a quick TikTok and
I love it. I won't interrupt the TikTok. Go for it.
just asking people why they're here. What brought you guys here today?
To fight for women's rights. This is not okay.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely not okay. Women's bodies should not be a political opinion.
I agree. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. What brought you ladies here today?
We're here because women's rights are everyone's rights, and everyone should be really upset about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why we're here, and more people here should care about that.
I agree. Thank you for coming.
I love your dog.
What brought you here today?
I think that making abortion illegal actually does more harm than good. It kills women who are actually, like grown humans with thoughts and bodies. So I think illegalizing abortion kills much more than abortion.
I agree. How about you?
I can't think of anything else. Not very good on the spot. I agree with everything everyone said.
Okay, I feel it.
Yeah.
It's hard to be on the spot last minute.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about what brought you here?
Oh, I was at the Rochester Fest rally, and I heard a very devoted activist call out that there's going to be a rally, and every single elected official should be here today supporting basic human rights. So I came.
Thank you. You're with. You're just taking along, right?
We're all here.
What brought you here today?
The future of my daughter and myself. I am here with two beautiful children because I had a choice and I got to make that choice, and everyone should be able to make that choice.
I agree. I have a daughter of my own. What brought you here today?
I'm very concerned about the unsafe abortions that are going to have to be performed for people that can't get them legally now.
I agree.
Not just in Minnesota, but for the people that have all around us. North and South Dakota, Iowa,
Wisconsin.
It's going to hurt the poor. It's going to hurt people that are the most vulnerable.
I agree. Thank you for coming.
Yes. I'm angry.
Me too.
So the way I've been trained about it is it's okay to ask them what questions they're going to ask you.
What brought you here today?
Same thing we've been doing for 35 years, protecting our rights.
Absolutely. I love your sign.
It's from
Looks very nice.
Washington. It's like 25 years ago, probably.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Nice and legible.
Yes. I wish I could stop using it.
Oh, don't we all? Don't we all wish rights would just be respected?
Yes. So you helped organize these?
I organize it, yeah.
Thank you. What's your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. That was so nice. Now, where would I have found out about this? How can I?
I just started a new group on Facebook that is Find Protest for Causes You Care About in Southeast Minnesota.
Okay. What's the name of it again?
Find Protest for Causes You Care About in Southeast Minnesota.
Okay.
What brought you here today?
Well, Women's Rights Matter. That's why I'm here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel so passionately about this issue that I wanted to be here to express my views that, as my sign says, we deserve basic human rights, and that includes women. I feel like after yesterday's decision, we're a little bit more of a second-class citizen right now. And I feel like we've gone a little bit back to the 1950s, and I really didn't think we would be here, but here we are. But I think we need to fight.
Absolutely. I don't want to go back any farther.
Right.
What brought you here today? I am going to get your sign, though. It's a wonderful sign. What brought you here today?
Just finds themselves so warm.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I feel very strongly about this, and I believe that nobody should tell anyone what to do with their bodies. So.
I agree. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
How about you?
There's so many other reasons that are technically considered in abortion in medical terms, such as if you have a miscarriage that doesn't expel from your body on its own when you need to go in for a D&C. On paper, that is documented as an abortion. Now there's medical practices everywhere, doctors who live in areas where they are now unable to perform that because now they're facing life in prison. There are so many scenarios such as that, and it's not my business what somebody wants to do. It's not up to me to tell you or the person next door what they can or cannot do, but since I have a voice, I'm going to be out here using it to stand up for the people who are potentially risking their own lives at this point, just because a group of white men and lawmakers who have no idea how any of this works and how the female bodies work have decided that it should be regulated.
Right? Men shouldn't have a say in our bodies, and sure as hell not the government.
No.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those.
Do you want to tell me why you came today?
Absolutely. We were just talking about that. My wife and I, we actually moved here to the state of Minnesota from the state of Arkansas less than a year ago. It'll be a year ago next month. And my youngest here, Maxine, she is 10 months today. And she was born last August right here in Rochester, and we now live in Rochester, and we left Arkansas to escape the politics there because that was one of the main factors, is because we just could not stand it, and we wanted to come to a place that was more just understood how the way things need to be, who see things progressively, why we must make change, why we need to elect progressives into office, why we need to make our voices heard, especially for the ones who cannot speak for themselves. And I'm sorry, apologies. And I am most certainly here for them because I am not sending them into this kind of darkness quietly.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
All right, you two. Want to tell me what brought you here today?
Well, I have some twins that I had while on birth control, and I was really grateful that I had the choice to decide if I was going to keep that pregnancy or not.
All right. Continue.
No, I mean, I wouldn't. Just having that choice when that happened was so important to me, and no matter what, I chose I wanted to be able to choose that for myself. My daughter, I want her to be able to choose that for herself.
I agree. I have one of my own. How about you? Absolutely. I agree. Well, let's hope they hear us. There's some new ones here. New faces. What brought you here today?
We're actually
I'm glad you heard me and I'm glad you came. I appreciate it. I love your hair. I'm a little jealous. I have no waves. Well, thank you for coming.
I wanted to tell you, just as a organizer from many other things, is we did a weekly thing.
Really?
So if you ever want to think that.
I have markers, but I don't have paper, but I have markers, but they're dying. So grab more markers. Yeah. Thank you.
So what we would do is we would just say, like, meet at the courthouse every Tuesday at 5. And then we just had a regular group of people coming. And it's something to think about if you need help or if you think about wanting to get something going.
Yeah.
Because what it does is then you get other people that, oh, I wasn't.
You can add me on Facebook and fill me in a little bit more. Rebel Rose aren't.
You're my hero. Oh, let me turn it around. I had the other one in the other spot. Okay. Thank you for organizing this.
Well, thank you for coming.
I'm on, if you Google the City Council, I'm Molly Dennis. So.
Okay. What brought you here today? I don't have much time, but I can get you. All these people are joining me in the fight for women's rights.
She is a warrior, ain't nothing gonna slow her down. She is a warrior, yeah. Gotta get up and go, no matter the road. Gotta keep your head held high. Gotta keep on praying, keep on slaying. Gotta keep that pretty smile. But she's ready to battle, gonna take that enemy down. She fears no evil and holding her ground. She is a warrior.
Public service announcement. So, contraceptives, the birth control pills, birth control shots, IUD, whatever you want to call it, whatever option you're talking about or thinking about, doesn't matter. They're not 100% effective. Condoms, they break. Some people can't take birth control because they have adverse effects from that birth control. Some guys can't wear condoms, whether they're latex or not. There are some people out there that just can't. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody can handle the same things that you can use. Okay? So don't tell us, oh, you should just do this, you should just do that. It's not that easy. I got pregnant while on birth control and using a condom. It broke and birth control failed. So a lot of the people who argue with me about pro-choice are those extremely religious, and there's a few things I like to point out. God gave us free will. God's not going around delegating who has a baby and when, not forcing that on us. Gave us choice. God is a loving God. God is non-binary, meaning God has no gender. God is not white. God is not Jesus. Jesus is the Son of God. The Bible supports abortion. Go read it. Before you argue with me, go read it. If you need me to find those specific quotes for you, I can. My rights don't end where your religious beliefs begin. And if you want to raise the argument that freedom of religion doesn't exist in this country, that it's not written. It actually is in the First Amendment. This country was made to be a free country, a safe haven of those of all religion, of all skin colors, of all nationalities, a place where people could be free, a melting pot of cultures. It was not meant for one religion to control all of us and tell us what we can and cannot do with our bodies. It was not meant for one religion to control the government. That was never part of the deal. Women's rights are human rights. My body, my choice, my right, my rage. Don't ever try to tell me what I can and cannot do with my body. I am someone who has been a victim of rape. I had a child from that rape. Did I choose to keep him? Yes, I did. Do I judge other people for their decision? No, because it's not an easy one. It's the hardest decision anyone has to make. And yes, I did have to have that battle with my inner self. I acknowledge that it's not his fault what was done to me. And I love him. He's an amazing child. But people don't realize looking at their face every day can send you into PTSD because they do resemble the other parent. And some people mentally can't handle that kind of pain every day. Don't judge others. So, on America's birthday, on a holiday that's supposed to be meant for freedom, I'm sitting here thinking, why? Why would I celebrate? Why would I support this holiday? Land of the free unless you're a woman, right? They once told us we couldn't drink, we couldn't dance, we couldn't speak unless spoken to, we couldn't think, we couldn't read, we couldn't vote. And in 1973, women marched with blisters on their feet to get us the right to an abortion. We already fought this war. It would be disrespectful to all the women who fought for us to have these rights. Sit down and do nothing. Get up and fight. And then we're going to hear the argument about child support. That's only if the mother's on assistance. Okay? If she's on county assistance, then they force you. They force you to name the dad. They force them to pay child support. But if they're not, the girl doesn't have to say anything about you if she doesn't want to. But she can hold you responsible if she wants to. And if you don't pay your child support, I mean, you pitched in 50% to create that human being. And sometimes you dominated a woman and forced it on her. So yeah, you should be paying your dues. But you should not have an opinion in what we do with our bodies. Not one bit. How would you like if we regulated yours? Mandated vasectomies. Snip, snip. How would that feel? You keep telling us, well, just don't have sex. Do you want no sex? Because if you can survive not getting laid, like, ever, I can do that. Not a problem. I can hold out for years. And just because I'm pro-choice, it doesn't make me a slut. It doesn't make me a whore. Pro-choice doesn't mean pro-abortion. It means I have no control or say over somebody else's body, and I'm for that person having their own choice and say in the matter. It's not my body. Pro-choice, the radical notion that women are people and can make decisions over their own bodies, right? Fuck SCOTUS. Fuck the patriarchy. Fuck the GOP. Elephants don't belong in my uterus. Hey, my lovelies. So I want you, all of you, with a story related to essay or abortion, any videos you made revolving around pro-choice that are pro-choice, I want you to send to my email, which will be in the description of this video and in the comments, so that I can put them in a compilation on YouTube to amplify your voices. I started a pro-choice channel, and I want to share all of your voices. It doesn't matter if you're men, women, trans, any other LGBTQ. It doesn't matter what skin color you are. I want to amplify your voices. So please email me your videos so that I can share them and amplify them with the world. Mwah. So I just want to share this little tidbit with you. So I was out protesting yesterday, and someone drove by and called me a fascist. There was a quote by a person by the name of Sinclair Lewis, and that quote goes, "When fascism comes to America, it'll be wrapped in the flag and carrying a cross." They weren't talking about me, sweetheart. They were talking about y'all. You conservatives. You pro-lifers. They were talking about y'all. Okay? Taking away a woman's right to choose is not democracy. It's fascism. That's what it is. That makes you a fascist, sweetie. Not me. There's a good chance I might be a socialist. But you see, socialism and fascism are two different things. Y'all throw those terms around and don't even know what they mean. Y'all judge people who support socialism. Don't even know what it is. The word socialism, fascism, God, what's that other one? Whatever, I can't think of it right now. Whatever is going on in China. They're not all the same thing. They're all different forms of government and leadership. All different definitions. They don't go together. Okay? So you need to educate yourself, because y'all sound stupid. And you're the fascist. So don't call me a fascist. Because I expect, in a democracy, in a free country, to have rights over my own body. Basic human rights. That doesn't make me a fascist. Here's an argument for you. Because every single time that I'm out there protesting, somebody's like, well, what about mask mandates and vaccine mandates? Look, I believe that everyone has the right to bodily autonomy and nothing can be forced. A mandate is a suggestion, it's not law. It's not the same thing as making abortion illegal. Not even close. But I do believe you have the right to refuse. Okay? You didn't like wearing a mask? You didn't like mandated vaccines? Imagine being forced to give birth to a baby that you didn't want. Whether it was from rape, happened when you were a teenager, it was from incest, was from whatever. That's not your choice. It's not your body. And if you're a man, you shouldn't have an opinion. It's not your body. Okay? You are not the one carrying the child for let's face it, it's not 9 months, it's 10 months. You don't have to go through the high risks. You don't have the risk of dying in childbirth. You don't have the risk of bleeding out. You don't have the pain, the sickness, and all that we have to endure to have a child. You don't have to sacrifice your body to have a child. Okay? You don't have to sacrifice your dreams, your college education, your life, your aspirations to have a child. So, as men, who are you really to tell us what to do with our bodies? Because most men are not obligated to stay. They're not obligated to help, not obligated to raise that child. Are they? Because I see a lot of dads dipping. I don't know who needs to hear this, but public service announcement, okay? Equal rights does not mean less rights for you. This shit isn't pie. Okay? Equal means everyone has equal rights. Not less for you because I get equal rights. That doesn't make any sense. Ignorance is not bliss. Use your brain. God didn't put it there for decoration. Okay? Wow. Equal rights means equal rights for everyone. So, I'm here to speak to teenagers. Teenagers who don't really understand pro-choice or pro-life and what those things mean. And how does this impact them? So Roe versus Wade was a protection put into place that a woman seeking a safe abortion could get one. Okay? Before safe abortions, there was unsafe abortions, meaning higher mortality rates and morbidity rates for women and infants. Also higher crime rates before Roe was enacted. Bet you didn't know that. Roe saved lives. Also, how does this impact you personally, boy or girl? So boys, how does this impact you? Okay? So, if the government decides to put regulations on your body to make it fair for putting regulations on women's bodies, you could be forced to get a vasectomy. A vasectomy does not remove your balls. What it does is they snip a little tube, making it so that your active sperm cannot be fertilized and weaponized, meaning you can't get someone pregnant. And they are, for most part, reversible. Because we've heard from many men that they won't take male contraceptives, birth control, okay? Because they're worried about the side effects. But women face those side effects daily. Why is it only on the women to have to face those side effects? Strokes, heart attacks, allergic reactions, constant bleeding, and the list goes on. I encourage you to look into those. And I encourage you to look into the statistics before Roe and after Roe. I encourage you to look into adoption statistics, foster care statistics, fetal exposure to drug statistics, and teenage pregnancy statistics. I also encourage you to look into rape, incest, and those sorts of statistics as well. Educate yourself. Because if your parents don't want the schools to educate you, you have to educate yourself. Okay? And the schools don't always do the best job, let's be honest. So, educate yourselves. Do you want to get a girl pregnant and have to say goodbye to all your dreams? You can't tell me, as a teenage boy, that you are not sexually active. Do you know that birth control isn't 100% effective? Do you know that condoms break? Do you know both girls and guys can have adverse reactions or allergies to birth control and condoms? Pregnancy is not 100% preventable unless you're just not having sex at all. You know? Do you want to say goodbye to your future? Do you want to put a girl in that position at 16? At 15? At 14? That's what this means for you. You might have to say goodbye to college, to playing sports, to whatever dream you may have. You might have to say goodbye to that because it's not solely on the woman to raise a child that you both created. Okay? This is the hard one. Teenage girls. How does this impact you? Well, say you get pregnant. Say contraceptives fail. Say the condom breaks. Say you have adverse effects or allergies. Say the guy has adverse effects or allergies. Say you get raped. Say incest is somehow involved. You're forced to have that child. You're forced to say goodbye to your dreams. You're forced to say goodbye to your personal identity, who you are, what you like. Everything that you want for your future, you say goodbye to. And again, adoption statistics, foster care statistics, like look them up. Because adoption isn't always the best option. Neither is foster care. And there's many reasons why. This is the hard one. Teenage girls. How does this impact you? Well, say you get pregnant. Say contraceptives fail. Say the condom breaks. Say you have adverse effects or allergies. Say the guy has adverse effects or allergies. Say you get raped. Say incest is somehow involved. You're forced to have that child. You're forced to say goodbye to your dreams. You're forced to say goodbye to your personal identity, who you are, what you like. Everything that you want for your future, you say goodbye to. And again, adoption statistics, foster care statistics, like look them up. Because adoption isn't always the best option. Neither is foster care. And there's many reasons why. Many forget to tell you that contraceptives aren't 100%, or that there are adverse effects, or that condoms break. Boys will trick you into it, not using protection. Not to mention you're not being properly educated in schools about safe sex. Boys will say, oh, it's too small, it's too tight, it doesn't feel as good, yada, 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 all in order to trick you into not being safe. Boys will think they own you, that you're a second-class citizen. So you shouldn't have the right to your own body. And that they can force themselves on you because they're a man. And you have to do their bidding. Is that what you want for your future? Do you want to follow your dreams in your future? Of course you do. So fight for it. Think about the other things that Roe versus Wade covered. Interracial marriage, same-sex marriage. They even outlawed Miranda rights. Okay, now it's no longer necessary for them to read you your Miranda rights. Did you know that? Did you know that women are getting arrested for having miscarriages and stillbirths all around the country being criminalized? Do you know that children will be criminalized? Do you think a 10-year-old is ready to raise a baby? No. No. Imagine all the rights they could attack. Because it wasn't so long ago we weren't allowed to vote. We weren't allowed to have an opinion, a voice. It wasn't so long ago, this fly, that we weren't allowed to own property or have a bank account or drive a car. Think about it. Do you know what it's like to be pregnant? Do you know about the illness, the pain, There's nothing quite as painful as childbirth. I can guarantee you that. I've gone through 5. And the drugs that they give you don't always work. Or they don't always give them to you. They don't listen to you and what you need. A lot of the time has been my experience. I needed my gallbladder removed. I had stones. And they ignored that pain for months, blaming it on pregnancy pains. I was sick every day. Like, you need to understand the actual stuff you go through. I encourage girls to talk to other women who've had kids. Ask them what it felt like, what they experienced. How sick were they? What pain did they experience? I encourage you to listen to that, from multiple women. I encourage you to ask women about abortion and whether they've had one and why. I want you to open a dialogue, a peaceful dialogue, and ask people why they believe what they believe. I want you to consider that we have freedom of religion in this country, so why is one religion getting to call the shots? For everybody. I want you to read all the statistics. I want you to explore and learn about all the different factors that play into this. Because this affects you and future generations. This affects our daughters, our granddaughters. And what many pro-life people don't realize is there was a higher mortality rate and morbidity rate before Roe. After Roe was enacted, abortions dropped dramatically because contraceptives were more readily available, education was more readily available, and safe abortions were more readily available, so less people died. It saved lives. And now we are going back 50 years and putting those lives at risk again. You just watch how many deaths come from this. And tell me where you stand. Ask questions. Get involved. Learn. Both sides of the argument. PSA. Violence does not help our cause. So, why? Neither does vandalism. I'm pro-choice all the way, and I'm pissed. But I don't support the violence on either side. I don't support vandalism. I don't support threats of physical harm. Stop. Just stop. I want you to understand that you are not outlawing abortion. In half the country so far, you were just outlawing safe abortion. As a pro-life supporter, have you ever looked at the statistics before Roe versus Wade and compared them to the statistics after Roe versus Wade was passed? Did you? Do you know adoption statistics and foster care statistics? Or the statistics on children exposed to drugs in the womb? Do you? Roe versus Wade saved more lives than before it was enacted. How can you call yourself pro-life when you're against regulating guns? Why do guns and rapists have more rights than me over my body? I bet if my uterus shot bullets, you wouldn't touch it. Like, I don't want you in my coochie. You don't want me in yours, right? back off my coochie. Back off of every woman's coochie, because no old white man should have a say over what a woman does with her body. No government, whether it be local, state, federal, should have that kind of say. It should be a protected right. Okay? It should be a protected right. You're killing people, and the blood's on your hands. And please tell me how it makes sense that you want to outlaw contraceptives. Right? You tell women to take birth control, but then want to outlaw birth control. You also don't want sex education in our schools, which prevents teen pregnancies. It educates our children about the world of sex and how they can protect themselves. But you're against that. All the things that prevent abortion, you want to put a stop to. The statistics prove that after Roe versus Wade was enacted, mortality and morbidity rates in women and children decreased. And abortions seriously decreased. That's what the statistics prove. That Roe versus Wade is a good thing that saves lives. Fuck you.